If somebody asked you if they get snow in Tokyo, what would you say? At one time, I would have said, I think, a little, but definitely not much. Especially considering that they're on the ocean, or inside the ocean. Uh, Ocean temperature moderates the seasons, so they probably wouldn't really get too hot or too cold. But I thought this would be a good question, because from my view, Japan has moved. Not a lot, but I do remember Japan down here, kind of arcing around the east side of China, which is one of the ones right after South America. If you see one of my earlier videos, I seen South America, other people talk about South America. I was pretty damn sure, because of reference from other places on the planet, from North America. And then I moved the map over, I saw Japan, and as I said in my other video, I almost got sick. Kind of. It was so obvious to me. Because it was arcing over Korea area. I didn't understand, like, there's no way. Over the last number of days, you know, I'm trying to figure out what changed here exactly. Just for this section of the Asian continent. The Yellow Sea. It's an interesting one. I gotta wonder if that's always been around, or for me. You know, the more I look at it, the more I try to remember people talking about China sinking, people talking about Korea being moved, being down here, not up here, and Japan being over here. I was, like I said, I was convinced right off the bat Japan was moved up. It used to arc around China, and now it arcs around Korea and what, I guess, like part of Russia now. On top of which I didn't remember, like, these islands stretching off. Like, the end, there was the end of Japan and then nothing, essentially, for a little while. There might have been some little teeny tiny islands around, but this other bulk piece of land was pretty, kind of set me off. That looks really odd as well. It looks to me now, after a lot of deliberating and trying to remember, which is tricky when you're staring at a current map, but if to fix it all in one, you know what it looks like? As far as just for this chunk, this portion of the planet. China shrunk, Korea went up, and Japan went up. Now if one was to, let's say, move Japan, and let's say accidentally, I'm just speculating, accidentally kind of grabbed hold of Korea, or that corner of the continent by accident, and moved it too. Meaning North and South Korea would have been down here, basically right where Taiwan is, actually out more, because it would have been more land. All this, and this here upper area of China seems a little extra big to me too, that comes up along the side of Mongolia. I would have thought it comes up, whatever, but this is just a very bulk piece of land, which is much bigger than I remember, would have thought. If you were to pull this Korea back down, kind of keep some land coming with it all attached, you'd make this far greater. This Yellow Sea wouldn't be here. Heavens knows why it's called the Yellow Sea. For some reason I get a sense that it was a white guy that named it. Or maybe a white guy's program. And Japan down. So Japan actually would have been above the Koreas. But the Koreas would have been way down here. Anyhow. Excuse me. I thought it'd be interesting. Well, if Japan moved north, you know, you could do the same with Korea as well. Only I think people are a little more familiar with Japan. How much? What's their winter like, right? So I take a look. Do you remember Japan being this snowy? This one's not too bad there. You get a lot of snow. There was one article here, I should say there is one article here. And the snowstorm they had received 27 centimeters, 10.6 inches, so just under a foot of snow. And that snowstorm that killed, 5 dead, 600 injured in a 1 foot snowstorm. So, yeah, what do you remember? Do you remember Japan being a snowy city at times? Do you remember Japan getting a snowstorm and shutting things down? Would you have thought of Japan that, I'm referring to Tokyo actually in particular, sorry. That snowstorm you'd seen with the 1 foot, that was a place, not Tokyo itself, but they said west of Tokyo. So pretty close to the same parallel. Would you have considered Tokyo and that region of Japan to have big snowstorms? Tell me what you think. Thanks, guys.